Olly from G4U Health and Wellness. I've invited Chris Todd down today, Not Your Todd clothing brand, local football legend. We're going to have a little walk along the coast and then we're going to have a swim. With the main message, we want to talk a bit about mental health. So let's just get it started. How are you, mate?
Yeah, top man. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Nice to meet you.
Looking forward to it. A good chat. I'm not sure about the football legend, but here we go.
So how are you, mate? How's things been with the clothing brand?
Yeah, really good, thank you. It's interesting actually. Like, sort of when I started it, I didn't expect it to sort of get to where it's got to now, and now things are really starting to motor with it, and people are fully aware of the brand itself, which is important. And yeah, it's starting to hot up a bit.
That's good news, mate.
Yeah.
Bought your t-shirt as we just met.
Yeah.
Lovely fit, actually.
Yeah.
Proper good quality.
Yeah, no, that was something we really sort of were keen to make sure that it was good quality, because the idea of it is the message out there,
yeah,
and obviously the logo itself. And if you had clothes that are not going to last, then it kind of defeats the object of what you're trying to achieve. So it was important to do all, a lot of samples, a lot of testing, make sure the quality of the garments were good enough to last, really. So it's been positive.
So how long did it take from like idea to getting it actually out there? How long was that?
Do you know what? It was quite quick. Like, I mean, the idea originally of Not Your Todd was something that it was something that happened to myself, obviously, with the leukemia back in 2008 when I was diagnosed with it. And you go through your own sort of struggles, but you don't kind of realise it at the time, and you just kind of get on with things and do what you do. And that was a long time ago. So yeah, so the reason I sort of come up with the idea of Not Your Todd was, as I said, we had a few things that have happened in my life regarding leukemia. I had a family member that struggled with their mental health, and the thing that really triggered it was I was on the way to work, standard day, usual stuff, going down to Yeovil, and I got stuck in traffic, and the usual thing, you think it's like just pile up whatever it may be, a little accident or whatever, but on this occasion it was, I stopped. There was 3 or 4 cars in front of me, and I saw there's a bridge there, usual bridge I used to go across or go past every day, but this time there was a man basically standing on top of the bridge, and at first you kind of think, what's that? Like, what's he doing? But then he's just watching, obviously, the traffic or whatever. Yeah. And I look to the right and I can see people trying to get him down. They were like saying, no, don't do that. Or I could see the actions from where I was. And then all of a sudden, well, it was horrendous. He literally jumped.
Are you joking?
Yeah. So I mean, that moment, I was just like, what have I just witnessed? Do you know what I mean? And kind of, it was horrific, and I kind of got out of the car. Luckily there was a woman there who literally got to the scene quickly, and she was a nurse, and she was doing CPR, trying to bring him around. And anyway, it was a horrific ordeal, as you can imagine, and eventually the ambulance came and took him away, and I found out 2 days later, which was not, I was looking on sort of news and stuff, that there was anything there. There was nothing. I couldn't find anything. But eventually I managed to ring the police and ask them the question. They wouldn't give me the full information because obviously it's data protection and whatever it may be. Yeah. But they said if it's the incident it was, the person we think passed away. And it mate, honestly, like that threw me for 6. Yeah.
When was that?
This was only last year.
Really?
Yeah. So prior to starting the brand, so a year and a bit now. And then I thought, I always remember it. I kind of thought, I want to help somebody. I want to help that, you know, I know I can't help that person because I didn't know who it was and they wouldn't give me the information and stuff like that. And but I wanted to try and give something back to people, because seeing that person must have gone through so many problems or issues or whatever it may be. He had a reason to do that, and to see someone do it was just horrific, you know. And so yeah, kind of coming to my head. I'm not going to lie, I did struggle with it, because it was just the thought of seeing it and everything that gone on through my head. I kept sort of visualising it back. I went and spoke to somebody. I'll be honest with that, and I think that was very powerful and very helpful to me at the time, because it was just, you know,
it's traumatic.
Traumatic. Yeah, exactly.
It's not a normal thing to see, is it?
No.
Normal course of your day, you don't expect to see that.
No, and so eventually, I thought, right, I'm going to make something here. I'm going to try and do something that's going to help somebody, and that's where Not Your Todd come from, because I said, right, let's do something that's an awareness brand that can help people to tell their stories, to maybe just open up to somebody that might have faced the same sort of problems. And I think that was very powerful for when I was ill.
Such a great idea.
Yeah.
It's so easy to understand, like grasp what it is, like what the concept is, from men that bottle it up and don't seek help, to the point where that poor individual felt the need to take his own life.
Yeah.
Like if he had have known there were men out there to speak to, then it could have been a bit different. Maybe
100%. And you know, I think that is one of the main ideas, I suppose, is to have those conversations, is to see the brand, to go and speak to somebody and say, oh, what's your story? Then,
everyone's
got
a story.
100%.
We've all got struggles.
Yeah.
We all go through the same stuff, same emotions, bottle it up, or seek help and then realise the hardest bit was just that initial phone call.
Exactly that. And I think it's very powerful when you speak to somebody that has gone through trauma or has gone through a problem. It helps them, you know, as well.
Well, the worst thing you can do is not deal with it. Whether that means you've got to go through a period of facing it and feeling quite down, like that, and you should feel that emotion.
Yeah.
Speak to people, let it out, and then it helps. Every little helps with those conversations.
Definitely.
Amazing, isn't it? What difference it makes. Like we've had a day at work,
Yeah.
met for a chat. Like, never met each other before. Come out in the fresh air, looking at the beautiful scenery already. It's like I just feel so much calmer.
Yeah.
It's just so positive speaking to people like-minded with similar views, and just trying to, at the moment, just spread awareness.
Yeah.
And like coming down here, bringing you to this spot. Like this is a special spot for me. I'm born and bred in Brixton. Like spent my childhood with my family down at this beach, and then in turn now with my family at the weekends. Just this last weekend we were down here. I got paddleboarding with my friend out around Berryhead in the cliffs, like looking at the nature. It's like they're my moments, like for like recharging and just feeling grateful for what you got.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's so important, Olly, like that. We're blessed down here. We live in Devon, and we've got this unbelievable views and scenery and beaches and what have you. But it doesn't even need to be that. You can literally just get out, can't you, and just go for a walk and clear your head. Like, I mean, because that's the key to it, I think, is not holding it all in and bottling it all up. Can sometimes just release it, and it might just be a little walk, you know, and maybe that's with the kids or the dog or whatever it is, and kind of gather your thoughts and your feelings and then express yourself, you know. I think reflection is one of the key things for me anyway, you know, and people going through their own problems, regardless of what it is. The reflection part of it is the biggest moment, I think, and then you find yourself on a healing mechanism and kind of develop an inner strength, I suppose, is when you release that sort of tension and what it is, you know. So, but yeah, we are very lucky, aren't we? You know. So, but it's great that we got the chance to come down and meet each other. And, as you said, similar minds, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. I think until you start recognising like how to heal, and you think, actually, I could just carry on doing the same thing, like same patterns, like not making the most of your scenery, getting out after work. Like I now routinely, whenever I get home from work, whether it's just around the block or jump in the car and come down, I'll have a little walk. And it's like it's just changed everything for me, really.
Yeah.
I had a little jump on a phone call with a friend.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't
From
like,
there.
definitely going to carry on doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's good.
100%.
Doing a good job.
Yeah. So, if you wouldn't mind, like, if you're happy to, just tell us your story about that, your journey, like what you went through, how it was, and like how you overcame it.
Yeah, I mean, 2008 now is a long time ago. I was in sort of prime football position, you know, and playing and enjoying the game as you do as a professional footballer, and in a little bubble, I suppose, is, you know, what you can say, because you're a professional footballer, you're an athlete and you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden you get one phone call that kind of changes your life, you know, which is what you never expect, you know.
No.
You just don't. It was kind
Where
of
were you when you
bizarre.
got that phone call?
Just in the house, you know. I was
Yeah.
chilling with my wife and my daughter, who's like only 6 months at the time, or a little bit less. And yeah, you get that phone call which kind of turns your life upside down, and it is that bang moment, you know, where you go, holy crap, like this is serious,
Bad
you know.
news.
This is
Don't get any worse.
Yeah, exactly. A point where I remember asking the question, you know, will I live? You know,
Yeah.
am I going to survive like this
Such
situation?
a natural thought to have initially.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how scary that was.
Oh, I mean, just blew your mind, you know. I remember sitting there, and the first thing I did, which is probably natural, I suppose, but you don't think at the time, but I looked at my daughter and I thought, I can't die.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I can't. You want to bring them up, and yeah, it made me cry straight away, you know. And my wife was there, and she supported me, and she is my rock, my wife, you know. And yeah, it was tough times, but I kind of had the worst sort of journey of that, because like, and I think everybody goes through this, and people don't realise it, is when you get ill, or when you get some sort of illness, and someone tells you you've got it, the first thing you do is you research.
Yeah.
You look online,
It's the worst thing you can do.
and you read so much rubbish like that. You got, according to the internet, you got days like.
Really.
Do you know what I mean? That's how social media can be, you know. And that's something I wanted over a time and a spell to get those good stories out there. There are people that can get through it, and there are people who survive, and there are people that gives you hope, you know, because that's the key, isn't it? Like, that you got hope. And regarding the brand, you know, it's about hope. It's about people telling their stories. It's about sharing their experiences and showing people that you can get through it, you can fight it, you can, whatever it may be, you know. So
important.
It's
I mean, how many people do you think have had that news and just battled it out on their own?
100%, millions. There is, you know, you think about the entire world that people go
So
through.
sad
it,
to
and
think about.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So sad to think about.
It is, and people don't have. Not everybody has family. Not every, you know, they don't. You don't have friends, you know, and so stuff like what you're doing, what I'm doing, is trying to show people that there are people that will help you, and there are people that will speak about this and will speak about that, you know, and tell you their feelings.
Just reach out.
100%.
Reach out.
100%. And that is so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful, you know.
Well, the strength that people will take just from hearing your story now,
Yeah.
and knowing that you went through what they're going through now,
Yeah.
and you're in such a positive place. It's almost like if you hadn't gone through those things, like, you wouldn't actually have the strength and the mindset to do what you're doing now.
No, exactly. So why was it then, Ollie, that you contacted Not Your Todd? What was the reason behind it, and what did you see might be different?
So, yeah, I've always been active, always been in the gym, training, but never really until recently, like, touched on like, my mental health.
Yeah.
It was almost like the changes I was having in my body and some of the health issues I've had. Suffered with chronic irritable bowel syndrome, which then in turn has led to anxiety, depression, just because I couldn't shift it.
Right.
It's almost like that's just how my body is now.
Yeah.
So I tried every food tolerance, every test, cameras in my throat. I tried everything to try and cure it, and it just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I thought, I've got to change something here.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I was trying to keep so busy with my work, doing all the overtime, working every hour, just to try and keep busy, like almost escapism.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got roped into doing a charity swim down at the local sea pool. Well, it was actually pick your exercise. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump in the sea, and I'm going to try and do 2 kilometres in an hour.
Right.
And I hadn't swam for years. Like I used to swim when I was younger.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realise was that when I jumped in the pool and started doing the 2 kilometres, it was real hard graft. It's stuff like watching Ashley Kane, he does the stuff he does like in aid of charity after his daughter died.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that. It's like, well, if he can do that, then I can swim 2 kilometres.
Yeah.
So I did it, and the feeling I got when I got out was something I hadn't experienced probably my whole life, where I thought, I've just done something there for like somebody else.
Give back, like.
And to be honest, like before that, it was all like working all the time, and you didn't really allow time for other people.
You get clogged where you work, didn't you?
And because I'd done something for someone else, instantly I almost felt like a bit different.
Rewarding.
And I went home and I was like, wow, that was quite nice actually.
Yeah.
And it was something about being in the cold water as well.
Yeah.
So from there, I reached out to a couple of guys that I know do ice swimming.
Yeah.
And they're like proper serious hardcore ice swimmers, and I thought, I'm just going to go down and meet them. So I turned up one Saturday morning down at Hutcheson, middle of winter, absolutely freezing cold, and they were like, we're going to go in. How warm was it? 7 degrees. And I thought, yeah, all right. So I jumped in, managed to swim 4 laps, got out, and just again, it's like you're growing. You're like, wow, what a feeling! Like warmed up.
Yeah.
And like my aim is to do a proper ice swim at the end of the year.
Really. I mean, it's so cold on it.
But it's like that thing of doing stuff in the community.
Yeah,
like, I know,
that's the most important thing, isn't it?
And that's why I've reached out to you, because I've started my health and wellness coaching brand.
Yeah.
Which when I started it, I didn't really know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I still don't, to be honest. But I know like kind of what it isn't.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not in that kind of mainstream fitness industry.
Okay.
It's more trying to help people get to the bottom of their root cause, like sit with it, work out what it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's your hormone balance, like you're not sleeping, like sometimes you think, oh, why is that? That's a coincidence. Like I didn't sleep very well last night, and I had a drink, and I was stressed. It's like, well, they all work together.
Yeah.
So you start addressing different health-related issues holistically,
Makes you feel better.
without medication, by getting outdoors, by just trying to like, I don't know, just look after yourself and look after people around you.
Yeah. That's the key, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
So, obviously, seeing what you're doing, been watching it really closely. Just thought, like, what better person, really? I've been thinking it'd be nice to get someone across, have a walk in the fresh air, and just get a few things off my chest, but also like connect with someone else that's in a similar mind. And I thought, there's no one really better that I'd like to get over initially and do it with than yourself. The stuff you're doing.
It's good. I mean, we're two men, I suppose. We're classed as proper men, but we're telling your feelings, and that's powerful for other people, definitely.
Well, it's nerve-wracking. It's like, I've not done this before, and I'm thinking, what are people going to think? Like, I've always had that thing where I've cared too much about what people are going to think of you.
Yeah.
It's not until I've started to recognise that and care less, but I'd be lying if I said, like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because you do, don't you? You're going to care 100% what people think. Like,
of course you do.
A lot of my life's been about, like, image and stuff that doesn't really matter. But
yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of men go through that.
Yeah. Here we go, mate. It's the beach.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I just think it'd be worth touching a little bit more on like stigma.
Yeah.
Because if we don't do it now, and people are watching this and they're almost into it, but not quite sold on like how important it is.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say to like if someone was stood here now, thinking about reaching out, been living a life of hell for years, and like just not felt like they had that courage just to go, I need help, please.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, we go back about the macho thing, the man thing, you don't want to say that I'm vulnerable, I'm weak, but you're not. That's not a sign of that. It's a sign of honesty. It's a sign of opening up and telling people that you ain't that great at the minute. You know, I think that is definitely the key to it. And then you talk about sort of the trust side of it, which is always hard, you know, because I found, and I think you trust your family 1,000,000%, and they're your sort of safe haven, aren't they? But to tell them something that may hurt them is very difficult. Like, really difficult, because
it's like, well, what are we doing wrong?
Exactly.
You're not doing anything wrong at all.
Exactly.
It's like just me.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think if you do open up to other people who have similar sort of problems and stuff like that, you can keep them away from them, kind of protect them. But I will say that there's nothing wrong with opening up to a family member, a wife,
You've got to keep people in the loop, haven't you?
to let them know.
Let them know, because that's like, well, why is he moody?
100%.
It's like, well, I just feel a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Some days.
Yeah.
And then the frustrating bit is when you're not able to communicate it. You assume someone might realise you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
When you're not, so you haven't communicated it.
You haven't said nothing about what you're feeling. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
and that is, you know, it is the key to sort of healing yourself, I suppose, is that opening up, that refreshment of relieving something that you're carrying, because it's a burden, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're holding that in your thoughts, and that's not going to make you feel any better. But when you do then open up and tell somebody, it kind of disappears a little bit. Not all of it, obviously, but a good percentage of it.
So would you say within like your network of friends and stuff, you're someone that people turn to? You get like phone calls from people that maybe they almost like choose to phone you because they know you're someone that isn't going to laugh at them or judge them, and then it's like, oh, I feel a bit rubbish. And you give them that like kind of support.
Yeah, do you know what? I think from starting the brand up, that has been one of the most biggest sort of things that has really, really touched me.
Yeah, I just think it's important just covering off like your balance, because you've got a lot going on. You've got the clothing brand, busy with football, kids, and we're talking about people reaching out to you, and it's like, that's a privilege, but it's, to me, it's like, well, at what point does like the balance kind of go out of sync, where you've got too much on, so then it's like you feel that guilt. Oh, I've got messages in my inbox, I can't get to them all. Is that something you're concerned about?
No, not really. To be fair, I mean, I'm very fortunate to have a wife that is really hands-on with the kids, and she's good as gold, and she understands the roles I've got within the football industry, and obviously the brand coming on board, and then I've got Craig Hutcheson, who helps me along with the brand.
Top lad.
Yeah, top guy, who's been a massive driving force behind it. So. It makes it easier, you know, it makes things a lot more comfortable, because I am a busy man, you know, with a football especially, you know, it takes full time, you know, but I have my little free time, and my free time is my pleasure in doing the NOYT and the brand, and meeting people like yourself.
Yeah, so at the moment, whilst the season's kind of in that kind of downtime, you say like, you're really driving this at the moment.
Yeah.
Whilst you've got the opportunity to.
Yeah, exactly.
Try put things in place.
Exactly.
So then when you go back to the football, kind of they grow like naturally.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. I know I've been working on it for the last couple of months, because we've been off season. And
yeah, you've seen it everywhere.
It's
definitely growing.
Yeah, I know, and to get it out there is the key, really, and you have to do these things if you want to make it successful. I know eventually I'd love somebody to take it on and really progress it, because I think it's got that capability of doing that, you know, and
it's unique, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and people are coming to us now and asking, can they get involved, and that does take a little bit of time, but as I said, I've got people around me that a support network, i.e. what we've been talking about, you know, you need those people around you to make you feel better, to help you, you know, because that's what it's about. Life's about that. You need that, you know.
Well, do you kind of have things in your day that you do, like morning practice, evening practice, things that are like almost like your go-tos when it is a bit on top, it almost give you that sense of when you wake up and you can actually, I put it pretty good here, like your gratitude, your grounding, anything you do routine in your day?
I mean, I think we're all sort of vulnerable, not vulnerable, but we all sort of lead a life where we take things for granted, and you kind of forget what kind of happened to you previously. But every now and then I have my little time, and usually it's my time in the jacuzzi with my boy, and we just sit there and we just watch the day go by, do you know what I mean, and chill and chat, and he talks about his schooling and what have you, and everything he's into and his hobbies and stuff. And
is he any good at football?
To be honest with you, no, and he'd laugh. He never really into it, which was his decision. I never pushed it, you know. You'd think I'd, football, probably done his fault, but no, I didn't want him to do that. He's a cracking young man, and I'm very proud of him for what he does and what he goes on to do as well, you know. And my 2 daughters as well, and I'm very fortunate with that, and a family man, and yeah, it's tough, obviously, a family life, you know, because
mate, I can relate.
bringing kids up is hard enough on his own, you know, but as I said, support network with my wife and stuff is the key, really.
It's funny you say that, actually, because I've got a daughter who's like plays football for the local team, and it's like I never thought growing up with 2 daughters I'd be a football dad. But yeah, I lived and breathed it. The last year, like, got involved with the coaching. I was like linesman, and they were like, coach down, and they're like, oh, can you do it? So I was like, yeah, why not? But then what you didn't realise is that's going to be like every Friday, every Sunday. you just get into it, and I've just loved seeing her do well at football. You take it for granted.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's been so nice. She's like moving into like her teenage years now, so it's just been brilliant to spend like Sundays with her, seeing her like growing in confidence, seeing all the team growing confidence. Yeah,
my oldest.
Football's addictive.
Yeah, my oldest is actually doing it with my daughter, so she plays. Not the boy, but the oldest daughter. So it's coming into women's football now, isn't it? So,
yeah. Oh, it's growing massively.
Yeah. What's for you all about then? Explain a little bit more.
So G4U, which stands for Good For You, health and wellness, and that came about because I got to a point where I think I was just boring everyone, but like I was so passionate, speaking to people, friends, family, and when they're asking, well, why should I do that? Like, my general thing was because it's good for you. And the daughters then became like quite like, they were like, oh, why? It's because it's good for you. It's like a fun joke. And then I was struggling for ages to think of a name for my business, because it's just hard, isn't it, to find the right one. I remember I went for a swim one day. I was literally on the way home from the swim, and it just came to me. I thought, oh, good for you, G for you. And then I split it into the 4 areas. All the names relevant again. I kind of split it into physical health, gut health, your hormone balance, and your mental well-being. And I've created the content so that we do your self-assessments, and we just identify through a series of questions where we'll rate ourselves from 0 to 10 in each area. Things like stress management, hormone balance, just everything, your macronutrients, your deficiencies. Just work out where it is that you're going wrong, or that you need to like learn more about. And then I've designed all these interventions, with meal plans, whether it's getting outside in the morning, your morning practice. I've covered everything, literally everything that I've done in my last 20 years of coaching, working in a gym, diet plans, it's all there together in one place.
I like that.
And I'm really, really passionate about just helping the person, getting people outside in the morning, getting people in the sea. So that's why I brought you down here today.
Now you're going to go.
We're going to go for a swim. What we're going to do is, because it's the end of the day, something I always do when I go swimming at the end of the day is I do my progressive muscle relaxation. So we're going to start from your eyes, we're going to work our way all the way down through the body, holding, tensing the muscle with your eyes, 5 seconds, and then you release it, and then you go all the way down, and then you shake it all off. And what that does is it just releases all the built-up cortisol and the stress hormone that's built up throughout your body throughout the day. Just gets rid of it. Any unused adrenaline. And I did it with a mate before. He was like, yeah, I'll try it. And then he got home and he said, whatever that was, I feel like I knew. So let's do it.
Let's try. I've got to go in this cold water now. Cheers for bringing me down here, mate.
No worries,
Love
mate.
the chat, it's been awesome. Now you're going to put me in here, and you said they've got to do it. Nice.
Doing it, mate.
Mate, this is the second time I've done it. I've done it in Wales not long ago. Now I'm doing it down here. Look at it, unreal. Thanks for inviting us, mate. Hopefully yourself, G4U, and Not Your Todd can push forward and
100%.
help somebody, so that'd be great.
Just get people out there, isn't it? Get them out in the outdoors, reaching out.
Oh, jeez. There we go. Oh, come on then, let's go.
Grab it.